And this is the Daily Signal for July 2nd, 2025. Breaking developments are reshaping the global landscape right now, and you need to know what's happening. Here are today's top 10 stories. Trump announces Israel agreed to 60-day Gaza ceasefire, Hamas deadline looming. U.S. halts weapons shipments to Ukraine in shocking Pentagon review reversal. Deadly Gaza cafe airstrike kills 24 civilians as ceasefire talks continue. Iran prepares to mine critical Strait of Hormuz shipping route, U.S. sources confirm. Unprecedented European heatwave forces France to close schools. Italy restricts outdoor work. Thai PM Pai Tongtarn faces suspension crisis. Succession battle erupts. Quad nations launch massive mineral initiative to counter China's dominance. Brussels climate targets crumble as Europe burns in record temperatures. Starmer guts UK welfare reform in controversial political U-turn. Dalai Lama breaks decades of silence, announces clear succession plan. Now let's dive into each story. Breaking overnight, President Trump announced Israel has agreed to terms for a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza, and he's giving Hamas a final ultimatum to accept or face worse conditions. Here's what happened. After 20 months of devastating conflict that's killed thousands, Trump called this his best and final offer. Netanyahu is expected at the White House next week to finalize details. But here's the critical detail you need to know. Hamas is demanding a permanent ceasefire lasting until full agreement, while Israel opposes open-ended terms. Trump's deadline pressure could force Hamas's hand within days. Why this matters to you? Oil prices are already reacting, and a failed ceasefire could trigger broader Middle East instability affecting global markets. Meanwhile, the U.S. just shocked allies by halting certain weapons shipments to Ukraine after a Pentagon review found American stockpiles critically depleted. The numbers are staggering. America has provided over $66 billion in military aid since Russia's 2022 invasion. But Trump's administration is now prioritizing U.S. military readiness over Ukrainian support. This hits as Russian aerial attacks are escalating across Ukraine. The timing couldn't be worse for Ukrainian forces on the ground. The key detail: this represents Trump's America First policy in action, potentially reshaping the entire European security landscape. Even as ceasefire talks progress, tragedy struck Gaza's waterfront. An Israeli airstrike targeted the Al-Baqa Cafe, a popular beach gathering spot in Gaza City. The devastating toll: at least 24 civilians killed at what Gaza officials call a busy family cafe. Israel claims it targeted militants, but civil defense reports show primarily civilian casualties. This attack happened despite ongoing ceasefire negotiations, showing how fragile the diplomatic process remains. Families gathering for a simple meal became caught in conflict that continues claiming innocent lives. U.S. intelligence sources reveal Iran is actively preparing to mine the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most critical oil shipping route. Here's why you should care. 20% of global oil passes through this narrow waterway. Mining it would constitute an act of war, affecting gas prices worldwide immediately. This development comes as regional tensions peak over the Gaza conflict. Iran's Revolutionary Guard has the capability to close this route within hours, potentially triggering global economic crisis. Europe is experiencing what meteorologists call an exceptional heat wave, forcing unprecedented emergency measures. The extreme actions: France has closed schools nationwide due to dangerous temperatures. Italy has banned outdoor work during peak hours to prevent heat-related deaths. These aren't typical summer measures. We're talking about life-threatening conditions affecting millions. Power grids are straining, emergency services overwhelmed. Climate scientists call this a preview of Europe's future summers. The infrastructure simply wasn't built for these temperatures. Thailand faces a constitutional crisis as PM Pongtarn Shinawatra confronts suspension proceedings, triggering a succession battle in Southeast Asia's second-largest economy. The Shinawatra political dynasty, including former PMs Thaksin and Yingluck, now faces its biggest challenge. Thailand's military and courts have historically intervened in such crises. With Thailand's economy already struggling, political instability could affect your investments if you hold emerging market funds. The US, Japan, India, and Australia just launched the Quad Critical Minerals Initiative, a direct challenge to China's stranglehold on materials that power your smartphone, car, and laptop. Here's the crucial context. China controls 80% of rare earth processing. Every electric vehicle, wind turbine, and computer chip depends on materials China could restrict at will. This Quad initiative aims to build alternative supply chains before the leaders' summit in New Delhi this fall. It's economic warfare disguised as trade cooperation. For you, this could mean stable tech prices long term, but short-term supply disruptions are possible as new systems develop. As Europe literally burns in record heat, Brussels politicians are failing to meet their own climate targets, a stunning example of policy paralysis while crisis unfolds. The irony is devastating. EU climate officials debate targets while citizens suffer extreme weather European infrastructure can't handle. Political timelines don't match climate reality. This disconnect between policy and crisis is happening globally, affecting adaptation funding you'll need for your own community's extreme weather preparations. UK PM Keir Starmer is facing fierce criticism for what opponents call gutting welfare reform, marking a sharp reversal from previous conservative policies. The controversy centers on disability benefits and work requirements. Starmer's Labour government is reversing years of austerity measures, but critics argue it's fiscally irresponsible during economic uncertainty. This affects millions of UK families and signals broader European trends away from austerity politics. The Dalai Lama, now 89, has announced a clear succession plan for Tibetan Buddhism's spiritual leadership, potentially ending decades of uncertainty and Chinese interference attempts. This matters globally. China has claimed the right to choose the next Dalai Lama, creating a potential religious and political crisis. The current Dalai Lama's clear plan could prevent Chinese manipulation of Tibetan Buddhist leadership. For millions of Buddhists worldwide, this provides crucial clarity about their spiritual future. Now let's connect these stories because they reveal three critical global patterns shaping your world. First, crisis leadership is being tested everywhere. From Trump's Gaza ultimatum to Europe's heatwave response to Thailand's constitutional crisis, leaders face challenges that demand immediate, effective action. The old playbook isn't working. Second, economic warfare is replacing military conflict. The Quad Minerals Initiative, Iran's Strait threats, and U.S. weapons supply decisions show how economic tools have become primary weapons. Your investment portfolio reflects these new battlefields. Third, infrastructure is failing under pressure. European power grids can't handle heat, supply chains depend on hostile nations, and political systems struggle with climate reality. The systems we built for the past aren't ready for the future. Here's what this means for you. We're entering an era where adaptation matters more than preparation. The old systems, political, economic, and physical, are being stress-tested simultaneously. Stay informed, diversify your dependencies, and prepare for more disruption. This isn't temporary instability. It's the new normal, requiring new strategies. That's the Daily Signal for July 2nd. Tomorrow we'll track how these stories develop and what new challenges emerge. Subscribe now for daily updates that matter to your world. I'm Remo. Stay sharp, stay informed, stay ahead.